Hi everybody, Radical Gardener here. It's good to see ya. And I've been promising this interview for about a month, but as those things go, there's always changes. But here we are now. This is the coolest store. My husband comes every week. Anyways, and they do aquaponics, hydroponics, do all of it.
We do soil, cocoa, soilless mediums, anything you name it, we got it.
And it's kind of the best of the best of. So if you're in the Michigan area, this is a wonderful place to come, and these guys are so helpful and always so upbeat, and it's just really customer friendly. So I just want to get a shout out to the store because it's really one of our favorite places. But anyways, here's one of the cool guys from the store. This is Grant Kamalski, right? Did I say it right?
Oh,
I said it right, yay! All right, and so Grant was good enough, just he doesn't really know me and I don't know him, and you know, he's good enough to do this interview. So Grant, I'm just going to ask you a little bit about the store and, you know, like its customer base. What would you say that you really, are you kind of servicing all kinds of people?
Oh yeah, you definitely see all different types. We definitely sprouted up around the medical cannabis industry.
Right.
The bulk of our client base is revolving around that industry, which is changing and evolving every single day in this state. It's very exciting to be a part of that movement. As well as we cater to every gardener of every different type or size. We see outdoor gardeners coming in here, people coming in wanting to start seeds in the spring, people coming in with pest problems for indoor plants, and we have organic and non-organic solutions for everybody. We always steer people towards the organic solutions, but we offer everything. We have just about anything you could ever need, from lighting. Again, all the nutrients are in stock and pretty much everything.
Yeah, I attest to that, I really do. So tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, you're an organic farmer, right?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Do you do all of your gardening outside? Do you do some indoor gardening? Or?
I do indoor and outdoor gardening. Gardening has basically taken over my whole life.
We all
started
know what
off as a hobby, like in one closet of a rental place, and then it took over the whole 10 by 10 room, spilled into the laundry room. Next thing I know, we're building garden beds out back, and we don't even own the house. So me and my now wife, Kayla, we really have taken the organic lifestyle to heart. We definitely made it a priority to build garden beds to supplement our own food. I definitely could recommend a book called Mini Farming, Self-Sufficiency on a Quarter Acre. It's a super easy to read book, and I use it as a reference guide every spring. I break it out, talks about how to build your own hoop houses, cold frames, seed starting. It gives you calendar timelines, all different kinds of crop portioning tips. And it's written by a friendly guy over on the East Coast, so his timelines work out really well for an outdoor Michigan gardener. For me, my grandfather died of cancer, and the treatment that could have saved his life at that time was considered experimental and is now no longer considered experimental. So at that point, I began losing faith in modern medicine. My own ailments as I started aging, I found that an organic diet definitely helps ease those ailments.
Yeah, it sure does.
And from my own research, I've found that even going to a place like Whole Foods, or let's keep it local with Western Market, shout out, in Ferndale, they got the best produce, but something that's sit on the shelf for 7 days has lost 30% of its nutrient value by the time you put it in your mouth.
And let me say this too, because we're starting to run into the food shortages because of the cold weather that's hitting the planet. And this is great because Grant is very aware, as any gardener that's paying attention, of these cold temperatures, and we're always talking about the grand solar minimum. A lot of people that follow my channel follow that ideology. So, and science proves it out, But anyway, so the point being is that we do have these challenges, and we're looking at ways of staying healthy, and we're really on our own. One of the things I've noticed about the food in the market, because we too are always at organic stores, is that it's not lasting in our house very long. So it's already been on the shelves for a long time, which didn't used to be the case 4 months ago. So it's been a really quick change in really the age of the fruit and the vegetables. So even though it's organic, how nutritious can it really be, right?
Absolutely. And what a lot of people don't understand is that when you pasteurize something, when you clean the dirt off of it, when you wipe away the microorganisms, you've also wiped away a lot of the magic.
Right.
You've taken away what your body uses as the decoding messages
Right.
for breaking down that organic food and putting it where it's meant to be put. So it's great that I have my carrot juice here with me today, but go ahead and pasteurizes it to make sure it's safe for me. At the same time, they kill almost
Yeah.
all of the nutrition out of it.
Right.
So again, I can't, for me, eat your big salad when you go out to eat, but man, pick just a handful of lettuce out of your own garden and put that directly in your
Yeah.
mouth.
I'm always
Lettuce
eating food with
releases
dirt
a
on it.
narcotic-like effect. When you break it right off the stem, that white stuff that comes out of the bottom, you can put that on your tongue and it's a numbing agent. So every time you eat a salad that's fresh out of your garden, you're getting pain-relieving medicine from the earth. When you eat your same salad from Whole Foods, none of that. That's all devoid. It's all lost by the time it gets to your house.
Wow, that's really interesting, and that's something I didn't know. Thank you so much for that information.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I really appreciate it.
Food is our medicine, and medicine can be your food, but not when you're going to Taco Bell or Little
Right.
Caesars 3 times a week or
Right.
whatever,
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and that every once in a while where we decide, well, let's just eat a pizza. We pay for it for days. I mean, we can really tell.
I'm the same way. I
but-
still have my guilty pleasures too, folks. I'm no martyr here, but
Right.
definitely I pay the price
Yeah,
now.
you really
the
can
cleaner
tell.
you get, the harder it
Yeah,
is when
it
you
is.
mess up.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No
it's
kidding,
a
no
rough
kidding.
road.
It's like, commit?
I know. Life
Just
is
a brownie
suffering.
once,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really
Enlightenment
true.
is not easy.
I know. What was it that just brought your awareness to the fact that we're really moving into colder temperatures? Was it just that are you like, looking at charts or?
Me personally, I never used to get headaches, and now I get violent migraines when we get these big, like 40-degree swings in weather.
Yeah, that's
when
actually-
it goes from like 30 degrees to 70 the next
that's
day or
actually
something
part
crazy.
of what's called the cosmic ray flux, which is in hand with global cooling. But and it's something maybe check out, but it's really has to do with the fact that we've been in an ice age and we went through a warming trend in the ice age. Now we're returning to it. So what are we going to do as far as grow food, right?
Yeah.
And so like I just ordered a lot of cold weather tomato seeds.
Sure.
And I'll grow them in my greenhouse. But like already the overall temperature just from last year to this year so far is down 1/4 of a degree, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that should continue if we're following the repeatable cycles, right? And that's what we're basing it on. So it's just really about using cloches. Do you have any clever solutions for colder temperatures and just protecting your plants, or do you just use?
Just stuff that I've read about, biodynamic farming. The French had like a backyard garden movement in the 1800s or
Right.
1700s. I might be misspeaking, but somewhere around that time is when they started developing like hotbeds,
Right.
where you could put horse manure at the bottom of your like a layer of horse manure, then put soil on top of it, and then grow your vegetables into that. As the nitrogen breaks down at the bottom, it would actually warm the garden bed. So that bed could be used earlier into the spring or
Right.
later into the fall.
And a lot of the East Coast farmers, which have or backyard gardeners are doing a lot of warming of the greenhouses with their compost. And that's what they're
Absolutely.
using is the compost. It really does generate a lot of heat.
Yes, definitely. Another thing you could do, you could have a greenhouse, or even if you had a hoop house that was large enough, you can take barrels, like 55-gallon barrels, painted black, fill them with water. When the sunlight comes in through your hoop house,
Yeah.
it'll heat the barrels, and then after sunset, those barrels will retain heat and radiate it back into your
Right.
space.
Right.
That's something I haven't messed around with myself, but I've read about the
Yeah.
technique.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do hoops, that you can stand in like a greenhouse, and then when it gets cold, I'm gonna do covers over things so that I can bring it down by 2 zones.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to do that actually with plastic. So. Okay, so we've moved positions in the store, and Grant's going to take the floor, so you don't need to see my silly face on camera. So Grant, go ahead and show really the simpler units that, so people aren't intimidated. And that's the thing, as I'm sure you know, everyone's intimidated by this at
Absolutely.
first.
Yeah, I mean, we're all beginners. We all start somewhere. In fact, when you're learning to grow vegetables, I say keep that beginner's mind, because every time you grow a new vegetable, you're learning something new. You gotta check your pHs, you gotta learn how the light requirements or photo periods, and it can seem overwhelming, but it sucks you in and it becomes a passion. So every time you learn something new, it just adds to your repertoire. So what I can say about hydroponics is I don't do them. I grow in soil. I'm an organic guy, so I like to just have my hands in dirt at all times. Dirt underneath my fingernails, bat guano. That's what I'm bringing home from work. But we got what you need if you want to start a small hydroponic setup. This General Hydroponics water farm is an example of a small deep water culture setup, which you get everything except a plant in this box. So you're going to get a bucket. It'll come with nutrients that you'll add to the water. You'll fill this bucket up with water to here, add the nutrients. You'll check your pH. It comes with a small air pump that forces air up into this ring up here. Your plant will go into the clay expanded pebbles that fill this secondary portion. The roots will grow down through those pebbles into the water zone. What many people do is get a secondary pump that has 2 outlets instead of just this one that comes with 1. That way you can put an air stone at the bottom, which will oxygenate the water as well as the top root zone. And the roots will just continue to grow down into there. Your plant will start to vegetatively grow up top. Potentially, as you monitor the plant, the health, it'll take up more water and more nutrients as it gets more mature. So on a daily or weekly basis, depending on what you're growing, you'd need to be checking your water and possibly changing out the nutrients or giving it fresh water depending on its requirements.
Right, okay. All right, good, thank you.
So
and what
then-
does that run a unit like that?
This is $65.63,
Okay.
and we do offer a 10% discount to all medical patients and 15% discounts to anyone that wants to become an in-store member.
Okay.
Another thing that I can show you here too, that's really nice. It's used mostly in our business for cloning, propagating, but we also could use it for actually just growing small vegetables hydroponically. If you can see here how an easy cloner type setup works. And there's different brands. Botanicare makes the Power Cloner. We have the Turbo Cloner or the Easy Cloner, which is what I personally have run for years. The Easy Cloner is nice. They all work with the same basic premise where you take your cutting, put a few nicks in it, dip it in some clone gel if you got it. If not, you can just go straight into the water. This little neoprene collar will hold your cutting in there with a little bit of it hanging down. You fill this up with water underneath. There's a small pump. Plug in the electrical pump. The submersible pump will then put water through these 360-degree mist sprayers, and it'll shoot water at the root zone and keep water and oxygen at a perfect ratio for that plant to put off roots. You do not need a dome. You do not need to mist the plant up top unless you like to. We do sell separate domes that go on the top. Some people insist on doing that even though it's not necessary.
So this is for propagating an existing plant.
An existing plant. So once you grow a mother plant, you take your tomato seed or anything and grow it from seed. You could take a cutting of anything and pop it in there, and it should root an entirely new plant. Now, depending on different species, some plants are easier to propagate with cuttings than others. So you definitely have to do a little bit of research right there. But we sell everything you would need to get that going, and most plants you can do with just literally nothing. Nothing other than a razor
Really?
blade, a cutting, and putting it into the water.
I'm growing potato plant out of potato peels, which is pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
I know.
Nice.
Have you used something like this? The
Yes,
plant cloning?
I use these every single day. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't even know that this existed.
Oh yeah. So this is definitely going to give you higher success rates than if you were using something like an old school like root riot setup where they just have like compressed peat moss, little pellets.
Right.
Then you could take a cutting, put it in there, wait for it to root. So this will definitely get you cuttings, but
Yeah.
you're going to have probably like a 70% success
Yep,
rate
that's right.
at your best.
That's right.
At your worst, you might have like a really low success rate. With these easy cloner setups, they're insanely efficient. You get 90 plus success rate every time. You can even get 100% without even trying that hard.
Wow. So what is a unit like this one? Now it looks like that's a smaller unit up above.
Yep, they come in different cell sizes. The smallest one we have in stock right now is a 16 site. It can do 16 clones at once. The price tag is $162.99 before discount. We have them in 24 cells, 48, 77, 32,
So somebody's
128,
really serious
180.
about growing a lot, and
If you go down to Eastern Market too, you can see they have displays of huge ones that have probably 500 sites in them, and they actually are growing microgreens down right now in Eastern Market in Detroit using these kind
Really?
of systems with
Wow.
nothing but just overhead fluorescent lighting.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed with that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed. I'm sure some other people didn't know about that at all. Wow, that's terrific.
And there are definitely blueprints online for DIY versions of this, where you could get 5-gallon buckets and do it yourself. But I can say, every time somebody brags to me about their DIY one, they're never getting clones that look like the ones that I get out of the professional ones.
Okay, all right, good. Hi, everyone. Okay, so we just got done having Grant show us about, some of the hydroponics. The cloner is like ding, ding, ding. That's something I'm definitely going to get. And we had, Nick had turned the camera off per my instructions, and we started talking about why it's important to really get these things now and just have them, whether you use them or not right now, so that you have what you need to grow. Because as you know, it's a real short period of time between, food being available on grocery shelves and then not being available, which is what, because really the warehouses are pretty cleaned out. They're not stockpiled like they used to be. So go ahead and say what you were saying.
I was basically just implying that we have everything that you would ever want at this store, and because of the cannabis industry, it is all cheaper than it has ever been before. I do not like to be a fearmonger, but I do like to try to stay prepared for the future. And so I'll just let you guys know that there are DIY plans for how to build almost any hydroponic setup, any greenhouse or hoop house. All that information is out there on the internet. It's all free. It's all easier to access now than it ever has been before. But just keep in mind, if the shit hits the fan, Northern Lights will be closed. I will be at my house with a shotgun protecting my family and my farm and worrying about my own crops. So at that point, I will probably not be around to answer any questions. So get in here now.
For a lot of stores.
Get in here now. We're here to help. We're here to answer questions. You can always call us and talk our ear off. We're happy to talk about growing. We definitely have a philosophy of education and knowledge over profits. But we need a few sales here and there to keep the doors open. So definitely come on in. We're happy to help you with whatever it is that you need.
Do you do any shipping at all?
Not currently, but it's something that we're looking to expand into the future.
Okay, great. So I'll just keep you guys posted on that, and since we're here all the time, because we have people from all over the world, so.
And we do price match too, so don't give your money to Amazon, give your money to a local business that will also repay you in knowledge.
Right, that's right. Yes, this is go team.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, so Grant, thanks a lot.
Oh,
really,
thanks
you're
so much
just
for
a
having
gold
me.
mine of information, and this is what I want to do was just who's here in the community and who knows about these types of things, and that people can go and rely on, and I know just that cloning thing.
We're not alone.
No, we're not.
Other people feel that we need to reconnect to the earth,
I know,
and
I know.
This is the time to do it. So
Yeah.
thanks for coming here. Thanks for
thank you, Grant.
asking me to do this.
Okay, thanks. So anyways, Radical Gardener, I hope your garden always grows, and from my garden to yours. So thank you, everybody. Sending you tons of love. Thanks. Bye.